I'm going to show you an extract from a workshop, C1, C2 workshop. We did, when? Oh, yesterday, just yesterday, which was very rewarding and quite funny at times. And this is towards the beginning of the workshop. So let me tell you who the people are in the workshop, first of all. On the top left, you see Milena, who's from Poland, whose English is very good. I call her Lady Milena because she has a very good accent and it sounds very posh. So she's a bit like a duchess. So very nice accent. And she's a bit argumentative sometimes as well. In the center, of course, you see me. Then top right, you see Alma, who's a little bit quiet in this segment, but she's our vocabulary expert. She surprises me with just how many words she knows. Then bottom right, you have May from Myanmar, whose English is excellent. She's hoping to take proficiency quite soon. And she's also a very good teacher. In fact, they're all teachers or have been teachers. And I had the pleasure of meeting some of May's students today in a workshop, which was quite fun. And they were at B1 level. And on the left, we have Tanya from Ukraine. And Tanya makes me laugh. The reason she makes me laugh is because she gets so excited, as you will see in this video. Now, when we do a workshop, we start off with a theme, but we go off that theme. If an expression comes up, then we explore different ways it can be used. So we don't have to stay on the theme itself. But in the workshop before this, we'd been talking about what people did at the weekend, different countries, places we'd been, what we'd been doing, talking about the summer. And at the end of it, Tanya had said, "Oh, it's been so good. We've traveled all over the world." As I said to her, you've traveled vicariously. Vicariously means when you do that through the eyes of someone else. So that was a new word that we learned in that workshop. So as Tanya was back for this workshop, I thought we'd go on another travel. And I decided we'd talk about autumn and go on a trip to see what you see at autumn, you know, all the beautiful colors at autumn, as it nearly is autumn. So that's the start of it. And in this first part, I'm trying to draw them out to talk about trees. And later in the workshop, we talked about trees in detail and many expressions which come from wood and from trees that you can use in different aspects of life. But what is funny in this first part is trying to get them, Tanya in particular, to say where we find trees. And I'll teach you an expression here. It was like pulling teeth. And I mean that nicely and jokingly. When you say that something's like pulling teeth, it means hard work getting to the final part of it. You'll see what I mean. I may say more later, I may not.
Where do you find,
let's hear them.
Where do you find that beauty? I mean, you don't see it in the town, do you? Where do you find it? So we're Tanya, you'll be pleased. We're going to go traveling again now. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to go on a walk now. So
Yeah.
where shall we walk to find this beauty?
So get ready to go to their different parks. We've got plenty of them where you can enjoy the view.
Yeah.
With small lakes as well. Or just near the river. So everywhere, I guess, we have a green country, and the countryside are just masterpieces for such kind of weather. Even if you drive your car, you will see the beautiful view from your car everywhere.
Yeah. And the beauty comes from seeing what? From seeing the
nature, yeah, just
well, it's from seeing nature, the nature.
Yeah.
But the multicolors are from the trees, aren't they?
The trees, bushes, yeah.
Trees and bushes. Where do you find trees?
Everywhere outside, or if you are in the city, so you definitely need to go to different parks.
And if you're out in the countryside, where do you find them? In a what?
Outside everywhere. Outside everywhere.
Yeah, you do. But when do you find a lot of them together?
Well, if you live in the countryside, you don't need to go somewhere specifically, because
where do you find what's a large group of trees? What's it called?
Forest, you mean?
Okay, find them in a forest. Another word for a forest.
Yeah, for having a walk.
Tree lines.
May?
Tree lines.
Woods.
A tree line is at the edge of a forest. You see the tree line. Woods. Yes.
Woods.
I was thinking where you live, because you're a jungle country, May. You tend to call it a forest because it's a rainforest. You don't call them woods.
Woods.
Italy and Poland, you've got different language. So we call them wood or forest. I think more often wood. But we have a famous forest where you'll know this, Milena.
Sure. Sherwood.
Sherwood Forest with the big oak. What's can you think of a famous idiom about a wood contains a lot of trees? What's a famous idiom about wood and trees?
Are we out of the woods?
Out of that good. Right, all right. Out of the woods. What does that mean?
Are we out of trouble?
Yeah, that's great. Okay, did you know that one? Dania, are you out of the woods?
Suddenly, or what does it mean?
No, but how will you use it? Out of the woods. Okay, I don't mean literally. So you're in the woods and you're lost. You could say, out of the, are we out of the woods yet? No, there's still trees around us. If you say out, right, it's more commonly used in the negative. We're not out of the woods yet.
Yet.
Yes.
Taylor Swift song. This is one of the line from Taylor Swift's song. Are we out of the woods
Taylor
yet?
Swift.
From whose
Yes.
song?
Yes, Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift gets everywhere. She's always in the news. I don't know it. I don't follow her news. She's right out of the woods. If you're out of the woods, okay, you're in financial difficulties. Things are getting better. People are paying you. But you might say, yeah, things are better, but we're not out of the woods yet. Okay, that was a good one. That's great. That wasn't what I was thinking of. There's another one. When you can't see the wider picture because you're looking at the detail.
It's miss the forest for the trees. Is it that one?
Nearly, right. That's a good example of knowing an idiom, but you wouldn't be able to use it. You'd understand it because you haven't got the words quite right. It's can't see the woods. Can't see the wood for the trees. I can't see the wood for the trees. I always have to think carefully about it. Okay, it means you're looking at the detail and you don't see the wider picture. Right? Again, quite common. You'd think it would be the other way around, that you'd say I can't see the trees for the wood, but it's not. So it's just a good example of where you know it, but if you use forest, it doesn't sound right. Okay.
But I'm sure I came across with one where there was forest. It was in a British TV series. And I'm absolutely sure there was forest, not woods.
The script writer got it wrong. Occasionally it might happen. All right, where someone uses it. It sounds odd to me. Just believe me, it does. If someone says I can't see, I mean, I would know what it means. It's better to use woods because that is the most common. What are you looking at? I've never heard forest used.
Oh, I've taken notes of it and I'm checking it. Okay, so I know it was the wood for the trees. Yeah, but when I was checking it, because I hadn't known it before, I found the information that the American version is not to see the forest for the trees.
It could be.
And I've got it here in my notes. Yeah, so I know I mistook it.
If you're here, then woods for the trees, forest sounds. But I would understand. I would understand it.
So that's the end of that extract. Where did we go from there? Well, we finally got into the wood or the forest. What then? Then we talked about trees. Not because we're particularly interested in nature, although of course we do love nature, but we wanted to find out what expressions, what words, what vocabulary we could associate with trees. So we started at the bottom being the roots. Okay, what do the roots do? They give nourishment. There's a nice word. They give nourishment. They provide nourishment to the tree. So how else can we use root? Proverb, money is the root of all evil. We can say the root of the problem is. Let's root out the bad people. Roots, let's put down roots. All these came out, not from me, but from the participants. We put down roots. We move up the tree. What do you find on the outside of the tree? The outside layer is the bark. Sometimes it's kind of flaky. How else can you use bark? I don't mean in a verb like barking, woof, woof, like a dog, but one idiom which comes to mind is barking up the wrong tree. A dog is barking up the wrong tree. The cat is up the other tree. It means you've got the wrong idea about something or about someone. So that was bark. And then, of course, we move up and we go to the branches. And how can we talk about branches? There's a branch of a tree. What else can you use branches for? A branch of a bank. You can branch out on a new venture. You can use it as a verb. a branch of history, I guess. Different branches. Then from the branch, what do you have at the end of the branch? You've got twigs. You know, the little sticks. Twigs. How can we use twigs? Well, if you twig something, okay, this is a verb. Oh, I suddenly twigged. It means you suddenly understood something. And of course, at the end of the twig, then you've got the leaves. But before the leaves, you've got the bud. How can we use bud? Oh, he's a budding genius. He's developing into a genius. Nip it in the bud. Stop something quickly. Nip it. Nip it, nip it, stop it before it develops into something serious. He's a budding artist. Yeah, so you've got that. And then we go on to leaves. How can we use leaves? Well, yeah, we've got the leaves on the trees. How about if you turn over a new leaf? To turn over a new leaf means to start again. He's been a bad boy. He's decided to turn over a new leaf and go straight because he's been a convict. Let me take a book. Oh, it's the nice book of idioms I've got here. Okay. I'm leafing through the book. We talk about the pages of a book being a leaf. So turn a leaf in that way as well. That is a leaf. Turn over a new leaf. Yeah, leaf through a book. So that's leaf. That's autumn. A quick trip into autumn. A quick climb up a tree. And I can't remember all the other words which came out of it, but there were so many. But that's the kind of thing which we do in our workshops. We might start out on a particular topic, a particular theme, but we find a word, we develop it, we find different uses, we look at expressions that we can use. It's all about building vocabulary. And remember, vocabulary is not just individual words. We're talking about lexis. Lexis is not just individual words, it's chunks of words. It's these fixed expressions we use, the collocations, the phrasal verbs, and the idioms. And all are important. And fixed expressions they may include a phrasal verb or an idiom or a collocation. They may not. You know, as a matter of fact, they often don't. As a matter of fact, is a fixed expression. It's not an idiom. It's not a phrasal verb, is it? It's not even a collocation. By the way is another one. So all these chunks of language, lexical chunks as I call them, are important. And that's what we try to develop in the workshops by taking a simple theme. We've talked about theatre in the past, we've talked about films, we've talked about books, we've talked about travel, we've talked about fairy tales. We had a lovely one about Cinderella. And it's just amazing when you start talking, you find a word which is linked to one subject, which you can use in everyday work. Sorry, in everyday life. So that's the idea of the workshops. That's what we do. And they're rewarding, so everyone tells me, and they're fun. We have a laugh, as you see. And we've got a nice group. So if you'd like to come and join us, then subscribe. Okay, it doesn't cost very much each month. We're doing 2 workshops a week. So you're getting 8 workshops a month. And you're going to learn a lot of vocabulary, which you probably won't learn anywhere else. That's my promise. That's my belief. So I hope to see you there. I will put the link in the description, and it would be great to see you join us. Okay. And when you come with a big smile on your face. And you leave with a smile on your face as well. Okay, that's it from me. Bye for now.